Caleb, no sound coming through.
How about now? Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2.
There you go.
All right, good Monday morning, everybody. It's currently 1:25 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 12:25 a.m. Central Time. We have our first severe thunderstorm warning of the evening. This is for Posey, northwestern Vanderburgh County, and Gibson County in southwest Indiana. This storm is warned for 60-mile-per-hour winds and penny-size hail. This storm is right at the Ohio River here near New Harmony. It's going to be moving towards Poseyville, Johnson, and Fort Branch, Indiana, in extreme southwest Indiana here this evening. Although the overall severe risk was low this evening, it was non-zero. We have not very many ingredients in place tonight, but we have just enough to allow these storms to perhaps go strong to locally severe early this evening, and that is what we have here across southwest Indiana. We do have a tornado watch in effect here for these counties until 4 a.m. Central Time, I believe. Double check me on the time there, Ryan, but I believe it's in effect for a few more hours. This storm here has a pretty good gust front on it, right along the I-64 corridor here. Just north of New Harmony is where the strongest winds here are on velocity, heading towards the Rapture, Poseyville, and Johnson area here. And the radar site, you notice, is right here. So we're very close to the radar here. So what we're seeing here on reflectivity here, on our velocity, tracking our winds, is pretty accurate of what we're going to see here on the surface. Winds here are being measured only a couple hundred feet off the ground. So just above the surface here on our velocity. So we're getting a really good look here at the storm as it crosses the Wabash River and into Posey and Gibson counties at this current time. The storm is moving off to the east-northeast at 55 miles per hour. So this, again, counties here under the severe thunderstorm warning: extreme northwestern Vanderburgh County and southwestern Indiana, Gibson County, and northern Posey County until 1 a.m. Central Time or 2 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. This is a severe thunderstorm warning, 60-mile-per-hour winds, and penny-size hail for another 33 minutes here. And we also can't rule out a brief spin-up tornado with this. This is not warned tornado possible, but the storm has a history of producing embedded mesovortices or embedded areas of rotation at the surface. At this point in time, no tornado is imminent with this storm. If we see that, we'll let you know in advance. Right now, damaging winds is the going hazard here for this storm, and this is extreme southwest Indiana, areas across northern Indiana, central Indiana. Not a lot going on here tonight. You guys are in the all clear. This is just for extreme southwestern Indiana. Posey, Gibson, and extreme northwest Vanderburgh counties here. And this does go into effect for 32 minutes here.
I will say, Caleb, that tornado watch goes into effect. It is currently in effect until 5 a.m. Eastern, 4 a.m. Central Time.
Okay, so I was right on that.
Gibson, Posey, and Vanderburgh counties.
Good deal. Yeah, right now the strongest winds here associated with the severe thunderstorm warning, stretching from New Harmony towards the Rapture area, I-64, moving towards the Johnson, Indiana area. You can see these brighter greens here. There's some pockets of some stronger winds closer to that 60 mile per hour range right in those pockets there. So we do have some embedded pockets of some pretty strong straight line winds here with this thunderstorm as it moves off to the east-northeast at I believe 55 miles an hour. Let me double check the...
Yeah, 55 miles an hour to the northeast, sir.
Yep.
Also, keep an eye on the area that is currently about to enter just to the west of the radar there. A little bit of a bulge there. In fact, the latest scan does concern me for a little bit of rotation there. We've been kind of tracking that, Caleb, for the past couple of minutes.
Yeah.
It's basically just near Upper Hills, Jimtown, heading toward the Skelton and Johnson areas here. These are little pockets of rotation that can spin up very quickly. They're not overly strong, but it's something to watch here as this progresses to the northeast.
Yeah. We have a lot of wind shear in place tonight, so it doesn't take a lot of instability for these storms to tap into that wind shear. But we do have a hook on radar now, as per that latest scan, Ryan. So it would be a mesovortice, in my opinion. There.
Yeah, I'm watching it very closely
Yeah.
here, and the good thing is the radar is so close to the storm that we're seeing a really good slice at the atmosphere. We have really good data for this storm, which is going to aid in kind of helping communicate what is actually happening here.
Yep.
There's a pocket, just for reference, a pocket of damaging winds. I have 62 miles per hour at 300 feet off the ground. That's very, very close to the ground. Likely damaging winds are occurring with this storm.
Pike County, yeah, we're gonna have to keep an eye on you guys. It is heading in your direction. Right now, it's currently the strongest storm is in Posey and Gibson counties. Pike, you are not under a severe thunderstorm warning at this time, but we'll keep an eye on you. It is moving in your direction. We'll have to see how this evolves here. Stay with us. We'll track it here, and if we see anything heading your direction, we'll let you know. We'll read the warnings off in detail. So yeah, keep it here. We'll keep an eye on that for you. But it is heading in your direction. Probably have maybe about another 30 minutes or so before it reaches Pike County, moving north and east at 55. But we'll keep an eye on that for you. Right now, severe thunderstorm warning for penny-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. The hail is not really the concern here with this storm. The hail size is actually below severe criteria at 0.75. We need that to reach 1 inch or quarter size for a severe thunderstorm warning. The winds is what this is currently warned for, 60 mile per hour. So this is the baseline severe thunderstorm warning. Once we reach that 58 mile per hour criteria, the National Weather Service will issue that severe thunderstorm warning. And if the winds increase to 70, we'll go to a considerable warning. If they reach 80, we'll go to a destructive warning, which is a 3 out of 3. So this is the baseline severe thunderstorm warning here. This is currently for Posey County, Gibson County, and extreme northwest Vanderburgh County here for another 28 minutes here. 60 mile per hour winds and penny size hail. And there could even be a little bit of embedded rotation near the upper hills area moving towards Jimtown there. You can kind of see what looks like a little bit of a hook echo there. We have perhaps a little bit of surface rotation there being detected on radar. Nothing that screams a tornado is on the ground at this point in time, but something to keep an eye on. If you're in the Jimtown, Crawleyville, Johnson, Skelton areas, and Owensville, keep an eye out for a possible tornado warning if this trend continues here. Vanderburgh County, Josh will ask, extreme northwest Vanderburgh County. Evansville area, you guys are okay. You guys are in the clear. This is just going to glaze extreme northwest Vanderburgh County and southwest Indiana. Think like Armstrong and points north and westward. Anywhere south of there, like Highland to points south, you guys are okay. You guys are not in the warning at this point in time. Mainly for Posey and Gibson. At this point in time, the warning does include Vanderburgh, but it's extreme northwest Vanderburgh. Think Armstrong and points northward. But pretty decent velocity there near the Johnson area, Ryan. Just north of the radar there.
Yep. My radar's live on the screen, just so you know, but it's currently basically over the Jimtown, Crawleyville, heading towards Skelton and Johnson here, and eventually up here toward Lyle Station and White River. So if you live in this warning box, especially on the north side of this warning box, take it seriously. There is quite a significant pocket there of heavier winds there occurring with this storm.
Yeah, the strongest pocket is right over Hickory Ridge right now, which is just south of Crawleyville. Crossing road name, we got County Road 650 South is where the pocket of strongest winds are. Approaching State Road 165 near the town of Johnson, moving north and east at 55 miles an hour is where the pocket of the most intense winds are, according to radar at this point in time. This is in Gibson County for the strongest portion of this thunderstorm, and is going to be moving towards the Princeton area here in the next 20 minutes or so, or less. Again, this is extreme southwest Indiana. Those of you in north central Indiana, northern Indiana, you guys are in the all clear tonight. No severe weather risk for you. This is mainly limited to extreme southwest Indiana. That includes Fort Wayne. No severe risk for you guys tonight. You guys can go to bed, sleep easy, and have a good evening.
Caleb, do you want to take your screen there, scene 3?
Yes.
There you go.
So here are the strongest winds here just to the west here of the town of Johnson. These are the strongest pocket of winds here that we are keeping an eye on. You can see the brighter blues there on our velocity product here. This is what we use to track the winds. This storm is moving right over the radar here, so we're not going to get the best look here for a couple of minutes until this storm reaches on the other side of the radar. But again, severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Posey and Gibson County. It has been trimmed off of Vanderburgh County. Vanderburgh County, you guys are no longer in a severe thunderstorm warning. The strongest portion of the storm is now solely for Gibson County. Posey County, you guys are still in it, but that'll likely get trimmed out here in the next few minutes. Posey County, you guys are in the all clear for you guys at this point in time. You guys do have a gusty thunderstorm moving through just north of the Mount Vernon area, New Harmony, heavy rain, perhaps some embedded lightning in there, but sub-severe at this point in time, maybe winds to 30, maybe 40 miles an hour, but nothing too much more than that. Our severe thunderstorm warning is solely for Gibson County at this point in time, where the strongest winds are that meet severe criteria.
Hey, Caleb, looking at the velocity here on GR2, it looks like there's a little bit of a pocket, perhaps. Yeah, right there, a little indentation of that red sticking in there. A little bit of a bulge there. Yeah, you got it. Watching that very closely here. Not tight, but it is that still a bulge there that would indicate that we could have some rotation trying to still tighten up, just not getting tight enough to warrant mention of a tornado warning yet.
Yeah, yep. So we have a lot of wind shear in place tonight, but what we don't have is a lot of instability. So that's what these storms are struggling with. But with the amount of wind shear that we have here in southern Indiana, the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma had enough confidence to issue a tornado watch for extreme southwestern Indiana until 4 a.m. Central Time or 5 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, just because we have a lot of spin. We have a lot of wind shear in the atmosphere, but because we don't have a lot of instability, and that's our limiting factor here tonight is instability, these storms are having a hard time tapping into that wind shear. Without instability, it's hard to get our updraft strong enough to really tap into that spin and allow them to spin. But when you have an updraft on occasion, that can tap into that. It doesn't take very much instability for a storm to tap into that wind shear that we have here tonight. But currently, right now, severe thunderstorm warning. No imminent tornado with this storm, but we do have pockets of embedded broad areas of rotation that we're keeping an eye on. But right now, no tornado warning, no imminent tornado on the ground at this point in time. Severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour winds is the hazard here in the form of straight line winds. But you can kind of see how this storm here has some kinks in it. Has some little notches, little kinks in it. Kind of looks like a pretzel, like a twisted pretzel. That's kind of the look that you have in what we call low K pi shear environments, meaning there's not a lot of instability, but there's a lot of wind shear, a lot of turbulence in the atmosphere, and these thunderstorms react to that turbulence and look kind of wavy in appearance as they interact with that turbulence and wind shear that we have. So that's kind of why we have that look that kind of looks like a twisted pretzel as it interacts with the different wind speeds and directions with the winds aloft as these storms are interacting with that. Not a lot of lightning with these storms either, Ryan. This is what we call a low-topped event, meaning our cloud tops aren't very high. We need a strong updraft to really produce those lightning bolts, and we don't have very high cloud tops tonight to really produce a lot of lightning. So this is mainly a heavy rain event, so another reason to take shelter. You're not going to see the hazards coming at you. One, it's dark outside. It's 1 in the morning Eastern time, 12:40 Central time. So it's dark outside, but we don't have a lot of lightning illuminating these storms either. So again, be in your safe place, interior room, lowest level of your home, away from windows. Can't stress that enough. Try not to put yourself next to an exterior wall. In the event of damaging winds, flying debris can puncture exterior walls, and you're putting yourself at risk there. We saw that at a structure in Brazil, Indiana, the other night. In fact, Saturday morning, we saw that. So Again, enter your room, lowest level of your home, away from windows until this storm has passed in Gibson County, Indiana. This will be coming near the Patoka area and Princeton area. Moving north and east at 55 miles an hour. Likely going just to the north and west of Oakland City, towards the Petersburg area if it hangs on to get another warning downstream. We'll have to keep an eye on it. We do expect a gradual weakening trend as these storms move east-northeast throughout the evening. We don't expect widespread severe weather tonight. However, the strongest area of concern is across extreme southwest lower Indiana. As these storms continue to progress, they're just going to become rainmakers. Perhaps maybe some gusty winds 30 to 40 miles an hour, but we don't expect widespread severe weather tonight because we don't have a lot of ingredients, especially the further east you go. We run out of those ingredients, and as we run out of those ingredients, the storms have less ingredients to work with, and thus they'll weaken. So, as a result, we don't expect widespread severe weather tonight. But there is just enough ingredients left over, especially southwest Indiana, to go ahead and prompt a severe thunderstorm warning by the National Weather Service in Paducah, Kentucky. They are the National Weather Service in charge of this area, and they will be the ones issuing the warnings down here in southwest Indiana. If we move a little bit further north to the Washington area, I believe that'll go into Indianapolis, but for right now, Paducah, Kentucky is in charge here. Right now, still 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-size hail here for Gibson County, Indiana. And this goes into effect until, looks like 4 a.m., or sorry, tornado watch until 4 a.m. Severe thunderstorm warning is in effect here for another 19 minutes here. And this storm is moving northeast at 60 miles an hour. So it's picked up speed a little bit by about 5 miles an hour. It was 55 earlier, now moving northeast at 60 miles an hour. So it's moving at a pretty good clip here. We'll get a better idea of what the winds are doing here as the storm moves a little bit further away from the radar. Right now we're on top of the radar station, so we need that to move just a little bit further to allow that radar beam to sample the storm properly. As we're too close, it's like putting your hand in front of your face and you can't see very well. We need you that little bit of distance between you and the radar to be able to get a better interpretation of what the storm is doing. But probably got sampled pretty well as it went over the radar station too. They have some mesonets there that can sample this storm, so that's a good thing.
I was going to say, Caleb, I'll get a measurement here pretty soon out
Yeah.
of that.
Yep.
So I'll watch for that here on my end.
Yep. They have the National Weather Service has some pretty sophisticated instrumentation at their radar sites. Not only the radar itself, but they also have something called mesonets. Mesonets take real-time data, pressure, temperature, dew point, and wind speed, and that'll get relayed to the radar operator and the warning coordinator at the National Weather Service, and they'll be able to make a decision on whether to continue the severe thunderstorm warning, upgrade the warning, or downgrade the warning. So we'll get that measurement here published probably here pretty quickly in the next 5 minutes, I imagine. So 5 to 10 minutes or less. But again, Gibson County, Indiana, Patoka, Princeton, and Fort Branch, including Johnson. Interior room, safe place, 60-mile-per-hour winds is what the storm is warned for. You can see the gust front there, getting ready to cross State Road 65 as it's heading towards US 41, towards Patoka, Princeton, and Fort Branch. This warning is in effect here for another, I believe, 17 minutes here. Some penny-size hail is also occurring here with this storm. Not severe, but you could hear a couple pings on your windows as the storm passes through. Still showing a pretty decent gust front there. Strongest winds, you can see this apex here. Looks like the backwards of a bow and arrow here. This apex, that's why it gets its name, Bow Echo. You can see the pocket of strong winds here, right along State Road 64, moving towards US 41, towards Princeton. Probably a nice pocket of close to 60-mile-per-hour winds there at the surface. Again, our radar is right here, so what we're seeing here is just above the ground. It's a radar beam. It's only a couple hundred feet off the ground here at this location. And this is moving towards Princeton, Indiana, in Gibson County. State Road 64 and US 41. Areas outside of Gibson County, you guys are in the clear. No severe thunderstorm risk for you. This is solely for Gibson County at this point in time. Widespread severe weather is not expected tonight in Indiana. We just don't have the ingredients in place to really support widespread severe weather. There was just enough in southwest lower Indiana to support some severe thunderstorms, and we have one here tonight. But it was a low chance at that. It was conditional. So we weren't really sure how these storms were going to hold together as they come out of Illinois because they're moving into a less favorable environment. Illinois was much more favorable than we are in Indiana, but we had just enough leftovers to support a very low risk for a severe thunderstorm, but enough of a risk where the Storm Prediction Center went ahead and pulled the trigger on a tornado watch for southwest lower Indiana. We have a lot of wind shear in place tonight. Not a lot of instability, which is good. If we had more instability, we'd be talking about more of a tornado risk across southern Indiana with the wind shear that we have. But because we don't have all the ingredients, we can only go as big as what our limiting factor is. And our limiting factor tonight is instability. So that's good. But we'll keep an eye on these storms here for you in case any of them do continue to get an attitude like this one has. So Princeton, Indiana, on deck, 60-mile-per-hour winds here. The gust front is approaching US 41 at this point in time. The strongest winds right here, right along State Road 64, just about 2 miles west of US 41, coming right into Princeton here. You can see that little bit of a bow echo there where that pink is. That's where our strongest winds are associated with this thunderstorm. There's a better look at it. Right where that little kink is, you can see that bow echo there. That's your apex of this storm. Strongest winds are sitting right behind it here, right on State Road 64, moving right into Princeton, just about 5 miles to your west. We'll be moving into town here probably in the next 5 to 10 minutes or less. The storm is moving off to the east-northeast at 60 miles an hour, so we're probably talking about 5 minutes or less for Princeton as these strong winds move into town here. Getting ready to cross US 41 at this point in time. Severe thunderstorm warning is still in effect for another 14 minutes here. We're getting close to the edge of the warning box here. These storms are moving pretty fast, so they're going to outrun this warning. We'll likely still have some time on this warning before it expires as this storm continues to race off to the east-northeast. Depending on what the National Weather Service deems necessary, we may see an extension of a severe thunderstorm warning, or we may see a special weather statement. Counties up next would be Pike County, Indiana. We'll have to keep an eye for you guys if we do get a severe thunderstorm warning or a special weather statement. A special weather statement meaning we have a strong thunderstorm, but it is weakened below severe criteria. We'll have to see what the National Weather Service deems necessary here. But for right now, plan on 60-mile-per-hour winds and penny-size hail, as that is what the current warning is now for Gibson County. Strongest winds right here, just to the north and along State Road 64, coming very close to Princeton, or areas just to the north here. Patoka also getting in on some stronger winds there. You can see these brighter colors here, especially the pinks right here and brighter reds right in here, coming up to US 41 and State Road 64. Getting in on some stronger winds, 60-mile-per-hour winds, and penny-size hail. Let's go ahead and turn on our hail tracker just to see what our hail size is doing here. Go ahead and turn this on. You know, I don't really see a lot of hail anymore associated with this. This is more of a wind threat at this point in time. Could have some pea-size hail in there, but I think penny-size hail is a bit of a stretch. I think we're closer to that 0.25 range versus 0.75, so that is some good news. But overall, this storm is showing signs of a weakening a little bit, as expected. So we'll have to see what the National Weather Service deems necessary here. But for right now, a warning is still in effect, so I would plan for 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-size hail. That is what is currently warned on this warning, and I would plan for that. Princeton, Indiana, winds are probably picking up as we speak, as are in Patoka. Patoka, you're getting in on those winds right about now as well. So this is crossing US 41 in Gibson County in extreme southwest lower Indiana. Ryan, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I was just about to say I agree with you too. In terms of the strength of these storms, I mean, there's really no fuel for these storms to continue their trek east-northeast. So we should be seeing a weakening trend as this continues to push its way to the northeast. So judging by the past 20 minutes or so, that area that was looking concerning with higher velocities, perhaps some rotation, I don't see that anymore either.
No.
I am still looking for the report out of the radar site for a wind gust. I have not yet seen anything yet.
Yeah, also the fact that they have not issued a downstream warning at this point in time as our gust front is approaching the edge of our warning box. That would be for Pike County, Indiana. leads me to believe that they also have higher confidence that this storm is weakening. We'll probably see, if we're going to see a statement or a warning, it'll probably be issued here in the next 5 minutes for downstream. But based on reflectivity, I would actually be surprised if they issued a severe thunderstorm warning. Not that it's impossible. They have better tools and resources than what we even have here at IWO. But based on what I'm seeing on recent radar trends, it would lead me to believe that this storm is on the downtrend, which is expected. We didn't expect long-lived severe weather tonight, which is good. But the storm had briefly reached that criteria to 60-mile-per-hour winds, and also showed some signs of weak rotation earlier as well. But as of right now, I don't see any rotation anymore within any of these storms in southern Indiana. And these winds appear to be on the downtrend as well. I think we're below 58 miles per hour based on velocity at this point in time. But that could change. We have a lot of wind shear present, so it wouldn't take much for these storms to produce some gustier winds. But overall, this will be the trend for the remainder of the night, and that is a weakening trend. This will become more of just rain and maybe some gusty showers as it enters towards the Bloomington area and points eastward. No severe weather for you guys tonight. Maybe just some gusty showers and some rain, some light rain. Nothing too significant, nothing too heavy. So some good news there tonight. And we'll dry out tomorrow. A lot of us will see some sunshine by tomorrow afternoon and some broken clouds. So we have that to look forward to as well. Really a beautiful week in store once we get through tonight. Tomorrow will be a little bit colder. We'll have some temperatures drop in midday as our cold front comes through. But on Tuesday, a lot of us are in the 70s statewide, and then even 80s by Wednesday and Thursday. So a really nice week in store, and a very quiet week as well. We're going to warm up with no thunderstorms in the forecast until maybe Friday. But even then, some uncertainty lies with if we're going to see rain showers or thunderstorms. But overall, a really nice week is in store for us, and I really hope we all enjoy it. It's going to feel like a beautiful spring week here in Indiana once we get through tonight into tomorrow. But right now, severe thunderstorm warning is still in effect for Gibson County, Indiana. 60-mile-per-hour winds and penny-sized hail. But with the recent radar trends here, it would lead me to believe that the storm is on the downtrend. Personally, I think the storm is below severe criteria at this current time. But nonetheless, the warning does remain. So stay in your safe place in case there are embedded pockets of 60-mile-per-hour winds that the National Weather Service can see that we just cannot see. But right now, not looking too overly impressive on radar, Ryan.
I would agree with you there. I'm actually about to go north here, look at the storms up further north to see if there's anything up there. But overall, across the state, it's looking pretty pretty minimal in terms of what's happening out there severe wise. All the showers and storms that are that were up in northern Illinois have turned into just showers at this point.
Yeah.
I will say, as this, I wouldn't even call it a line, but as these storms move through, showers and storms move through the state, behind them is potential for gustier wind.
Yep.
So don't be shocked overnight into tomorrow early morning if you have some gustier winds, 40, maybe 45 miles per hour in spots across the state as this line continues its trek eastward. I will say one thing, and that is there is a storm or two up by the Fort Wayne area, also Bluffton, Decatur. On radar here, it's hard because our radar in northern Indiana is currently down, so we don't have a good look at those, but we do have two blips, one by Fort Wayne, one by Bluffton, of perhaps some showers or perhaps a storm going up there in that general area. So
Yeah.
perhaps a rumble of thunder up there in the Fort Wayne and Bluffton areas.
Yeah, maybe some pea-sized hail in Adams County and Allen County. But these storms are sub-severe. Some heavy downpours occurring in them, but they are not severe at this point in time. Don't really expect any severe weather across northern Indiana. Maybe some rain showers, perhaps a rumble of thunder, but that is about it for northern Indiana. Again, we just don't really have the ingredients tonight for widespread severe weather, and I don't really expect anything to turn into what we saw Saturday morning either. We had that destructive severe thunderstorm traverse all the way from Terre Haute to Jay County, Indiana, producing swaths of 80-mile-per-hour winds at some points of its life cycle. But we even had more ingredients then, which we didn't have much Saturday morning, but we have even less tonight. So after this severe thunderstorm warning is canceled or expired, Personally, I don't expect to see another one here tonight, and that's largely because these storms are going in an ingredient-starved environment, meaning we really don't have anything for these storms to work with. There's just not a lot here in Indiana to support thunderstorms or even severe weather tonight. A few rumbles of thunder are possible, but widespread severe weather is not.
I was kind of surprised at this storm, Caleb, for even becoming severe this far east. I know we
Yeah,
talked about on the pages today how there's really no threat for severe tonight, just because there's really no storm fuel for these storms to stay even close to severe. So
yeah.
it just kind of goes to show you that you don't always need an abundance of
Nope.
instability. We can
You
have a
can,
lot of wind shear and a lot
yeah.
of dynamics above our heads that play a part in our severe weather.
Yep, we call those
But
cheat codes
overall,
where sometimes
mhm,
other things in the atmosphere can compensate for something that's lacking. In this case, we have a really strong pressure gradient, a really strong low pressure system sitting off to our north, and that is providing our lift despite no instability. A lot of times when you have strong bulk shear, we call it speed shear, bulk shear. We call that a dynamic system. We have a lot of dynamic lift, meaning you don't have to have a lot of instability when you have a lot of dynamic lift, and that can also help get thunderstorms up. And that's really what we have here tonight. We have a strong low pressure system and a cold front coming through, and that's providing our lift and just enough lift to spark some thunderstorms across Indiana. But that's really all we have tonight. We really don't have a lot of other ingredients. So after this severe thunderstorm warning expires, we'll probably hop off here, as I really don't expect to have another severe thunderstorm warning in Indiana. The atmosphere, the dynamics just does not really support severe weather in Indiana tonight. But we did want to mention this risk earlier, as the Storm Prediction Center had enough confidence to include southwest lower Indiana in a marginal risk of 1 out of 5 to compensate the storms moving in Illinois. Southern Illinois, the storms had a little bit more of a punch than what was anticipated and progressed a little bit further east than what was forecasted by the National Weather Service. And a lot of that has to do with that what's called dynamic lift. Dynamic lifting associated with this low pressure system and cold front helped to give them an extra little push to go a couple more counties further east than forecasted, which can happen. So